Welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast with your host, Funk Roberts.
We are live, people. And welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast. This is episode number 33. And I'm your host, Funk Roberts. I'm a former professional athlete turned master metabolic trainer, certified MMA strength and conditioning coach. I'm a certified fitness nutrition coach and also an online transformation specialist specifically for men in their 40s, 50s, 60s. And this is the Over 40 Alpha Podcast. This is a podcast where I help men in their 40s, 50s, 60s get into the best shape of their lives through speaking about nutrition and workouts and recovery and sleep and mindset and health and, of course, testosterone. And today, on episode number 33, we are going to talk about the 13 mistakes men over 40 make when it comes to building muscle. Because listen, man, we need to build muscle. We need to, one of the things that we suffer from when we reach the age of 40, once we reach 40, even before, we suffer from something called sarcopenia, which is a scientific term for, a natural loss of muscle while we age. So as we age, we're naturally losing muscle. So think about that. Like if we don't do anything, because a lot of times when we reach 40 and we're not consistent with the gym, we're not consistent with our nutrition, we have excess belly fat, we've put on weight, we have our fatigue, we're fatigued, we're always tired, we have no energy, our mood's all over the place. We generally, and if we do go to the gym and try to work out or do anything, it's really hard for us to build muscle. And all that muscle that we may have had when we were younger is now all gone. And what we chalk it up as, what most men chalk it up as, because, I work with, right now we have over 3,000 men in our Over 40 Alpha Brotherhood, over 40,000 other men who are on my newsletter list. Plus, every day I'm communicating with many men over 40. And you just chalk it up as, well, I'm getting old. I'm over 40. This is supposed to be it. I've got the dad bod. Even Leonardo has a dad bod. I go online and it's cool to have a dad bod. It's not cool to have a dad bod. So you just kind of go, you know what? I'm old. This is it. I'm 40 and this is it. But that is not it. That is not. And today I'm going to explain to you how, generally speaking, you have to start to build muscle and gain strength. And you can do it. No problem at all. But you can't make these 13 mistakes. Not only men over 40 make, but I was making a lot of these mistakes too. I'm 51 years old right now. I'm in the best shape of my life. We're about to go to Thailand in a couple of months to train for pretty much a month. Who knows? Maybe I'll fight. Maybe not in Thailand, but who knows, right? Who knows? But that's what we're training for. And I'm 51 years old. And right now I can say that I'm almost in the best shape of my life. I've got a lot of muscle, but it wasn't always that way. Because when I was 39, turning 40, it was totally different. I'm going to explain that to you in this podcast. But really what I want to talk about first is making sure that that you can build muscle. Doesn't matter if you're 40, 50, 60. I see it every day in my brotherhood. There's guys building muscle. They're putting on muscle. They're getting lean. They're losing weight. So you can do it. Doesn't matter. Like I'm seeing guys who were 100 pounds overweight. Listen, if you listen to the podcast with Warwick Rule, I can't even remember what episode it is. I think episode 29, but look up on Apple Podcasts. He's got muscle. He's got a six pack. He was 300 pounds. Now he's like 185, 190, right? But he was at the point where he was thinking, you know what, this is it. I'm done. I can't do it. But I'm going to explain to you what changed my mind. But I'm also going to go through these 13 mistakes because it's really important that once you step up to the plate and say, okay, you know what, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this. Funk's right. Funk's right. And even if I go online and see some of the other guys out there that's talking about mistakes that men over 40 make, but we can regain our muscle. We can regain our strength. We can be in the best shape of our lives. I'm ready to go, but I just have to make sure I don't make these mistakes. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to even give you examples of myself and how I was making those mistakes, specifically when I was 39, turning 40, when I was, 40 pounds overweight, puffy muscle, as Elliot Hall, big up to Elliot, he calls it male PMS. That's the first time I heard this way back years ago, male PMS, which is puffy muscle syndrome, puffy where that's what I was, man. I was like 210, just big and puffy. I hated it. Anyways, before we get to that though, there's a few things that I want to talk about. First of all, remember, we're having a contest. This month is Muscle Month, man. So all the podcasts that you're going to listen to this month, which will be February, will be all about building muscle, supplements for muscles, nutrition, and of course, this one's starting it off. So every month we have a contest, and of course, you guys know that I own a supplement company, Funk Supplements. I've got the best supplements on the market, and this month I'm giving away 3 bottles of creatine. So 3 winners will win 1 bottle of creatine. This is a 2-month supply. It's creatine monohydrate, 100% creatine monohydrate. Creatine is one of the most studied supplement. It's proven time and time again through research and science to be one of the best supplements for muscle growth, for recovery, even for the brain as well. So I'm going to give 3 lucky winners a free bottle of creatine. This will be perfect for 2 months. And you just take 1 scoop every day. How you win is you go to over40shred.com/contest. And there's 2 steps. You're going to put your name and email address into the page, like the opt-in box. And then on the next page, there'll be a link. You click that link, and then I need you to leave a review, a nice review, a beautiful review, a 5-star review on any of the podcasts that you're listening to. And then at the end of February, we're going to draw, and 3 winners will win 1 bottle of creatine, or one tub of creatine. So again, go to over40shred.com/contest. Those 2 steps. Step number 1, name and email address. Step number 2, or just email address. Step number 2, leave a review, guys. And I do appreciate all the people last month who left reviews. The 3 winners for the Lean Pro 30. I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. And so, and what, this podcast is starting to grow. It was dismal when I first was doing it until I rekindled the podcast. It's now ranked number 41 on Apple Podcasts, but we're rising, man. We went from 0 to, we're climbing. So that's great. And the other thing is let's get checked. So listen, guys, you guys know, man, I'm big on testosterone. Obviously, the whole Over 40 Alpha program, the whole brotherhood, everything I talk about is always pulls back to testosterone. And I'm so happy to have partnered with a company called Let's Get Checked. They do home testosterone checks, because listen, it's one of the things, I live in Canada, so it's very easy for me to go and get my testosterone checked. Okay, it's pretty easy. I just go to my doctor's, he takes blood, what have you. But I know in different countries, specifically in the US, it's not that easy. And so, but we need to know, no matter what, where we are with our testosterone, no matter what, we need to know that information so that we know where to start. Is our testosterone low? Is it okay? Do we need to raise it? Where our hormones are going? So you can Let's Get Checked if you go to over40shred.com/test kit. This test kit, and then use the discount code FUNK40. And basically what this is a home testing kit. It's very easy to use. I just used it actually today. So basically what they do is they send you this kit. This is another kit. I got 2 kits. I got 2 kits sent. And they give you everything in this kit. You fill out the information here. So you get all that information there. I can't see. I don't know if you guys can see this. So just give me 2 seconds. Okay. So you fill out the information. You go online and activate, and then you just fill out the questionnaire online, and then it's easy to take a sample. It's blood sample, so they provide you with the little thing that you prick your finger with, and then here's like the little vial that you fill it up with your blood. Then they give you all of the, they give you the packaging so that you can send it back. So when you order it, you're going to literally get it like the next day or in 2 or 3 days. I live in Canada. I got it in like 3 days. Then you're going to activate it. You're going to collect your sample. You're going to collect the sample in the morning, of course. Then you're going to put it in their prepaid packaging. You're going to send it back. Then what's going to happen is they're going to get the results. You're going to be able to review your results online within like 2 to 5 days. So, it's not long. And then there's even a consultation. So you may have a nurse who will call you over the phone and talk about what the next steps are. But in order for us to know, there's a lot of side effects. There are a lot of things that you have, again, belly fat, you gained weight, your sex drive is low, you may have erectile dysfunction, the mood's down, metabolism's slow, you can't build muscle, you're always getting injured, fatigue, depression. There's so many things that are happening that are due to low testosterone. And once you get that testosterone checked, then you know where to go. And then, of course, with the right program, you can naturally increase your testosterone levels. Of course, if you haven't listened to my last podcast, episode 32, I talked about the 8 ways to naturally increase your testosterone levels. So, but you've got to get your testosterone checked, guys. Don't be afraid. That's why I partner with these guys, and it's super, super inexpensive. It's like, I'm giving you 40% off. It's $89. I'm giving you 40% off. So it's almost half price. There's no excuse. Go to over40shred.com/test kit. Right? Use the code FUNK40. You're going to get 40% off. Do it right now. Do it, pause this and go right to pause this right now. Pause it. Go to over40shred.com/test kit. Go there. Then I want you to put in the code FUNK40 because you're going to fill out the information. You're going to get it. You're going to buy it. And then you're going to come back and we're going to talk about building muscle and why knowing your testosterone is going to also help you to build muscle. All right. And then also, just to let you guys know, this week or next week, I'm going to be, I think next week, I'll be launching a program called Metabolic Muscle. It's a home dumbbell workout program. This program's amazing, man. It's home workouts. It's 3 workouts. It's full follow along. So you're going to be working out with me. Dumbbells. We're going to be building muscle while we burn fat. So it's amazing, man. And you're going to go to over40shred.com/metabolic-muscle and go for it. Anyways, let's get started, man, because I'm talking too much. And we need to get down to business, man. Business. So let's go with 13 mistakes men over 40 make when building muscle. Like I mentioned before, there's 2 things that we have that we're behind the 8 ball. Number 1, our testosterone levels are naturally decreasing 1 to 2% every year after after the age of 30. 35 for sure, but it's naturally decreasing. Of course, testosterone is going to help us with building muscle as well as other things, of course, burning fat and everything else that I mentioned before. But sarcopenia, remember I talked about sarcopenia, the natural loss of muscle. That's why we need to build muscle, but we can't make these mistakes because, yes, it's great that you want to get into the gym or start working out. Awesome. That's a first step. But we got to make sure that we're doing things the right way, right? We're not making mistakes that are going to hamper our results as opposed to improve our results. So the number one thing, so I'm going to go through these 13 mistakes. I'm going to go through them quite quickly, very high level, guys, very high level. I'm not diving too deep into research here, but know that there's a lot of proof backed by a lot of proof backing the stuff that I'm talking about. So the first thing is this, again, men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, is traditional weight training or using bodybuilding style training. So, and what I'm talking about is a workout. So you'll see like in the magazines or online, buys and tries, back and shoulders, legs, just chest day. You're just literally, going day by day and hitting specific body parts. And you know what? I used to make that mistake because as men over 40, that's a huge mistake. Okay, that's a big mistake for us. We can't work out that way. We used to do that when we were younger, but it doesn't work for us as we're getting older. Now, that being said, yes, of course, there's going to be men who have been doing this for a long time and, haven't stopped as they reach 40s. And so they're used to still being able to build muscle using these bodybuilding style. But even if they get older, they have to watch out. And a lot of these men, especially I see some of these bigger guys in the gym that are older, that for sure they're taking something to help them with getting the results. Listen, I'm not, no judging. I don't care what they do, but I'm just talking about, the guy who's just kind of getting back in, and it's kind of like, okay, let me just get back into working out. So usually what happens is you just go to what you know, and what we knew was, back and shoulders, whatever we were reading in the magazines, Muscle and Fitness every month, or Flex magazine. And I used to do that. Like when I was 39, going 40, that's the way I was working out for most of my life. I was just doing bodybuilding style workouts, bis and tris, back and shoulders. And literally I was doing that 6 days a week, right? And when I reached 39, I started to realize that I wasn't building the muscle that I wanted to build. In fact, I started to get puffy, right? So I was talking about getting puffy. So it was more puffy. I was building puffy. I was getting more fat than I was muscle. That's what started to happen. So I had that baseline, but I started to gain more fat, and started to get injured too. A lot of injuries because I was working out 6 days a week. I had to break out the body parts, right? But you can't do that specifically if you're new, because listen, if you're new going into back to wanting to build muscle, or which happens a lot in my program, a lot of these guys lose a lot of weight, and they say, okay, listen, I want to build muscle. And we do have muscle building phases, because my program's 12 months. So we do have muscle building phases within the 12 months. But a lot of guys want to start to, okay, I want to pack on a little bit more. But if you're kind of new, you need to condition your body, your ligaments, your tendons, your muscles, all need to understand the movements and the loads that you're giving them, and you have to do it safely. And so going back to this bis and tris and just jacking up the volume and trying to go back to the days you used to is not going to work, right? It's just, and I'm going to go through a lot of the reasons why, but there's recovery, and like our bodies don't recover the way they used to. Our bodies can't take as much volume as they used to, specifically if you're just getting back into building muscle. So you have to be very careful. Plus, there was a study done by Brad Schoenfield, who I love. Thank you, Brad. God bless you. Big ups. I want to get you on this podcast. If you're listening, you're probably not listening, but I do want to get you on the podcast, because he did a study that showed that working out your total body 3 times per week is more is better in increasing muscle mass than split routines, where you're just going individual muscles are worked multiple times per week or once per week. So like, bi day, you go and you do arms, right? So you're just doing bis and tris. You're doing the 3 sets of each, 10 to 15 reps each. You've got different exercises trying to hit those specific muscles. Or you do back day, or you do leg days. Well, for us guys in our 40s, 50s, 60s, it's more beneficial for us to, when we want to increase muscle, to do 3 total body workouts, right? And one of the main reasons full body workouts are so effective is it increases our protein synthesis at the right times. So think about this. The window for protein synthesis is 48 hours. Generally speaking, it's typically 48 hours. So when you train 3 non-consecutive days, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, your protein synthesis is going to spike at the right times, which is going to help your muscles to grow. It's going to push. So you're not, without pushing your muscles to the extreme, you're going one day, you're doing chest. Then you're going the next day, you're doing bis. You're going the next day, you're doing back. You're going the next day, you're doing shoulders. You go the next day, you're doing, legs, whatever. There's no time for protein synthesis to effectively happen, right? You're not giving your body enough time to recover. Again, this is for the man in our 40s, 50s, 60s who's not taking performance enhancing drugs and hasn't really worked out in a long time, right? And of course, there's going to be men in their 40s, 50s, 60s who are like, oh yeah, well, I still step on stage and do bodybuilding. Well, that's different because that's something specific. But when you're doing 3 total body workouts, so you're hitting your bis, your tris, let's just say a workout that you're hitting your bis, your tris, your shoulders, your back, your legs, and your chest all in one workout, and you're doing that 3 times per week, and you may use different exercises hitting that body part for each of those workouts. So, day 1, you're doing like the 6, let's say 6 exercises. You're doing it, in a circuit training, let's just say. you're doing chest, back, shoulders, whatever, you're using specific exercise. And the next day, the Wednesday, after your day off, you're going to do, again, hitting the same body parts, total body, but using different exercise. So instead of doing, a chest press on day one, you're going to do push-ups on day two. And on day three, you may do incline chest. You know what I mean? So way more effective for us because it gives us time to recover and it gives our body time to take advantage of protein synthesis. So number one is get rid of the bodybuilding style training. And I see it all the time at the gym. And I used to do it because I used to do it. And at 39, turning 40, it didn't work for me anymore. It wasn't until I changed my workouts to more metabolic circuits, more total body circuits, using dumbbells, using kettlebells, staying off the machines. That's when the magic happened. I literally lost in 6 months, I lost, all the 40 pounds, but I was lean, ripped, and shredded. And that was at 40. So that's number one. Total body workouts 3 times per week. It's the perfect way to start, specifically if you want to start building muscles while staying lean. Okay. So that's awesome. So number 2, overtraining, right? Overtraining. So again, our muscles in our body, we don't recover like we used to. I talked about that just now. Like we don't recover like we used to. When we were younger, we could go 6-7 days a week and still recover and still, get amazing results and build muscle and eat whatever we wanted. And, you're probably seeing your kids doing it right now, or like, because I train Muay Thai and we train with a lot of younger people and, they can get away with it, especially in their 20s. They can get away with all that stuff, right? I see the guys in the gym, when I go to the gym here, the young cats, they're there almost every day, they're getting amazing results. And you're like, man, how come I can't do that? And that's what I was doing. Again, when I was 39, before I really made a change to how I trained and eat, I was going to the gym 6 days a week. 6 days a week. And here's the thing. Not only was I not getting results, but I started getting injured. I started having these little nagging injuries. It's like, what the hell is happening? Your mind starts thinking, well, I'm just getting older, or work through the injuries, right? Because my ego takes place. I can just work through these, man. This is just probably because I'm getting a little bit old, but I can get through this, man. I'm the man. Funk's the man. I can do this. But when you start getting injured, you get shoulder injuries, you get, elbow injuries, back injuries, then you can't train, right? And then you're just right down, back down to getting depressed because you can't go to the gym and, it just spirals down there. So, and then here's the kicker for me. This is the kicker for me. When I was going to the gym 6 days a week, doing, hour and a half in the gym with cardio going, like traditional cardio, my training partner, and I think you guys have heard this before, my training partner said to me, hey man, like listen, you're the hardest worker in the gym. Like he set me up. Like this guy set me up perfectly. He's like, man, you know what? You're the hardest worker in this gym. Like easily, you come in here 6 days a week, you crush the gym, you crush the weights, you're lifting heavy, you're dedicated, you're consistent. And he looked at me, he's like, but doesn't it piss you off that you put all this hard work in and you still look the same? And I was like, at first, of course, I was defensive, right? No, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And then that's not until I went home and took off my shirt and really looked at myself in the mirror, because I never really looked at myself in the mirror at that time. I was just kind of like always wearing muscle shirts or tight shirts or, not only was I big and puffy, but I was fat, had a lot of belly fat. And I was doing that 6-7 years. I was working out like that for years and never, I was increasing weight, everything, and never changed. So, and maybe some of you guys know, puffy muscle. Some of you guys out there know what I'm talking about when I'm saying you're just big and puffy. And it's like, fuck, it's so frustrating because yes, when we're in our 20s and 30s, big and puffy actually kind of is cool because you can fill out that shirt. You can go to the club. You can stand in the club and you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're nodding your head, music's bumping. You're nice and big. You got that tight sweater on. Girls are coming up. They're feeling your arms. They're feeling your chest. You make sure they don't feel your stomach though, because you got some belly fat there. But you're flossing. You're doing what you're doing. But when you're 40, you're not going to the clubs. If you're 40 years old and you're going to clubs, there's something going on there. But you're not going to the clubs in the 40s. You got kids. You got a wife. Like you're not doing that stuff. So the fact that you want to be big in sweaters is not the number one focus. So overtraining, right? Training with weight 6 days a week without leaving room for recovery is going to not only you're going to hit a plateau, not only are you going to burn out your nervous system, not only are you going to get injured, but you're not going to get results. You're not giving your body enough time to recover, right? So, and then you're going to hit plateaus, and you're going to get injured, and then you're going to be like, man, I was overtraining, and then I got sick, your immune system goes down. It's just a litany. And you guys know, if you were one of those people, in your 40s or 50s or 60s who do things every day, and you just start to get fatigued and run down, and you're always injured, you're always sick, you're not getting results. That's it, man. You're overtraining. And when I talk about recovery, let's talk about number 3 mistake is not getting enough recovery. And again, that was me. I was not taking days off. I was in the gym 6 days a week. And on that 7th day, who knows what I was doing? Who knows? But I wasn't taking the rest days that I needed, right? Not getting enough recovery is destruction. Because here's the thing. Thank you, Christian Thibodeau. Because Christian Thibodeau wrote an article years ago in T Nation that I adopted right away. Like in my Over 40 Alpha Brotherhood, this is what I talk about. There's 2 days, and you got to think about it in this way. You got to think when you're in the gym, when you're putting in the work in the gym or at home, with your dumbbells, you're actually stimulating muscle, okay? You're breaking down the muscle, right? We're breaking it down, right? We're damaging so that it can repair, get bigger, get stronger. Those are called stimulation days. If you think of it that way, when you're working out, it's actually stimulation days. Growth days are happening when you're resting, because that's when your body is replenishing its glycogen stores. That's when your body is repairing itself and saying, hey, this guy just broke my ass down last workout. I've got to build myself back up so that when I get back in the gym, I can handle that load, or I can handle that volume. And that's what your muscles are saying, right? And so your nervous system can get back into play. Your muscles are recovering and getting stronger, building back up so you can come back in and blow through it again. Your glycogen stores are getting replenished, right? So your whole performance in the gym is going to take it to the next level when you take those days off. During your off days, crucial things happen. Crucial things happen that make it easier for your muscles to grow and easier to get stronger. You guys know this, man. You know this. You guys know that the body has limited resources, specifically in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. And we need to invest in our training sessions, which is stimulating. And even more, we have to invest even more time into the rest days. We got to invest even more time into fueling our body to grow, right? For muscle growth, for replenishing. So a lot of times it's the flip. Right? People, and again, I made the exact same mistake. So I'm not I made most of these mistakes until I turned everything around at 40. That's when I'm 51 now. When I turned everything around, it's 51 in a month. I turned everything around. So rest days, man, those are growth days. So that's what I talk about in the program. I'm like, in the Over 40 Alpha, I'm like, okay, guys, this is a stimulation day. Like when I do the follow along workouts, I'm like, welcome to stimulation day, workout number, whatever. And then the growth days are your rest days where you're feeding your body, you're resting. And when I say rest, I'm not saying like not doing anything. Like Sundays are usually you don't do anything, right? You just kind of plan for next week. You do some meal prep, you get yourself ready. But you're not working out on those rest days throughout the week. You may do some abs, you may do some mobility work, you may do some flexibility stuff, but you're not in the gym. You're giving your muscles time to do what it needs to do, which is recover and rest. All right, so we've got to take those rest days, which again are growth days. So let's get to number 4. The mistake number 4 is sleep, not getting enough sleep. You need 7 to 9 hours sleep, not only to help boost testosterone, but also for muscle growth, right? For helping with muscle growth and also how it will affect you the next day in the gym. So again, my story, when I was 39, specifically because I thought I was still 29, I would never get enough sleep. In fact, I would go work out and then, stay up all night, play, NHL hockey with, on the computer, or maybe I'll be, writing blog posts or partying, right? Because I partied a lot when I was 39 because I was depressed because I wasn't getting results. And unbeknownst to me, it was because of my testosterone levels were wrong. But, my girlfriend had left me at that time because I couldn't, I couldn't satisfy her in bed. Literally, that's the reason why. I was depressed. I was fatigued. I was moody. I was fat. I was out of shape. I was still posting videos on YouTube, right? I was still posting workouts on YouTube. But if you look at my early workouts, man, I was big and puffy, a lot of shirts on all the time. It wasn't until I made that switch. But and I wasn't getting sleep. I wasn't getting sleep, man, at all. And it was affecting not only my muscle growth, but my life and my health and, my performance at work and also in the gym. And listen, when, like I say, 7 to 9 hours is key, right? And there's two types of sleep we got to think about. There's REM, which is rapid eye movement, which is that deep sleep, the sleep that occurs 90 to 120 minutes throughout the night. So you don't get, a lot of it. But it pretty much accounts for 20 to 25% of our total sleep time, specifically as an adult. And and REM generally dominates our sleep later at night. So later at night, specifically just before we wake up, that's when we should be in REM. And that's perfect because testosterone production happens earlier in the morning, right? So just before you wake up, your testosterone production happens. And what does your testosterone needs along with cholesterol? Well, really good sleep, good REM sleep that helps testosterone production. But then there's non-REM sleep. And non-REM sleep is known as the slow wave or deep sleep. So not the REM, but the deep sleep. And this phase is actually more essential for muscle recovery and restoring the body. And this accounts for 40% of our total sleep time. So during this time, your blood pressure drops, your breathing becomes deeper and slower, your brain is resting, so there's not a lot of activity going. And so you have a lot of blood supply, which is very available. So your blood supply is available for your muscles to increase. It gives your muscles the extra nutrients it needs, the oxygen it needs to help with healing and to help with growth. So during that phase, that's when the muscles and the tissues are starting to rejuvenate and, you get that growth. That's it, man. Non-REM sleep. But you need both. One for testosterone, which we need for muscle growth, along with everything else in our lives, and one for muscle growth, right? Specifically, if we're in our muscle building phase, if we're like, okay, I'm building muscle now. We need that. And that's sleeping 7 to 9 hours is super crucial. And I don't have it on now because I was training, but, I've got the Whoop strap, WHOOP. I have no affiliation with Whoop right now. Whoop, if you're listening and you want to affiliate me, please do, because I love that strap. My wife has it. And for me, that strap is all about, it uses, oh my God, I can't. Oh, it'll come to me in a second. But basically what it will do is use your heart rate variability. Thank you, HRV. Sorry, HRV. And it talks about your rest and your recovery, and so your sleep, and it gives you a whole readout on your sleep, which is amazing because I like it because I need to know how much I sleep, and I also need to know what my recovery is because it will tell you, okay, you got really good recovery, 80% recovery today, so it's good that you can hammer at the gym, or you have 10% recovery, and man, you just want to chill out. Chill out. So it's amazing. I love the Whoop. It doesn't do your steps and all that crap, but it does give your activity level as well. But it's really good. Anyway, so get more sleep. That's key. Number 5, too much volume and too much weight. So according to the Sports Health Journal, showed that training too hard and too much volume creates fatigue, insomnia, and plateaus. And that's what I was doing, right? That's what I was doing. I was going too hard. I was trying to lift so heavy. My ego takes its place. I'm trying to, keep up with these young cats in the gym. I'm using bro splits, which can also make us catabolic, which, at sometimes being catabolic a little bit because that's when your anabolic state happens afterwards. But if you continue to do that, too much volume, too much catabolic processes happening, you're going to overwork your muscles. Instead of repairing and growing like they did back when we were in our 20s, it's just going to break down. It's going to cause joint pain. It's going to weaken your immune system. It's going to make it harder to work out in the first place. You're going to get injured. So again, those bro splits where you're just going 6 days a week and you're increasing the weight all the time. But listen, you do have to have progressive overload. Don't get me wrong. You have to have progressive overload. You have to lift. You have to challenge your muscles, right? You got to lift. You got to break down the muscle. But trying to do 3 plates when you're 40 years old, what is the point of doing bench pressing when you're 40, 50, or 60? There is no, unless you're a power lifter, then there's no point. What are you trying to prove, right? Your technique's probably not great, right? Because bench press is probably one of the biggest, the most popular exercise, but it's probably the one that's done incorrect the most. And it's all ego. You're just trying to no one cares how much you bench. No one cares. Your 40 and 50-year-old men, friends, and 6-year-old friends aren't coming up to you and go, how much you bench, buddy? No one cares. I don't remember. Now, in my 20s and 30s, I would get that question every day. How much you bench? And I would just tell them, because I haven't benched in years. So I don't know, man. But now, no one comes up to you in your goddamn 40s and 50s and asks you, how much do you bench? Come on, man. No need to get there. Anyways, we're done. Number 6, poor form and technique. Poor form and technique. That's a huge mistake, and I see it all the time. Let me just go back and talk about too much volume, okay? Let me just go back and talk about too much volume just 1 second, because what I wanted to do was actually give you guys, I'm telling you guys the mistakes, but I got to tell you what to do instead. So instead of doing too much volume, it's also good to, again, you still want to increase the weight from the last time and progressively overload, but you don't want to be doing 6 days a week. 3 days a week, 4 max, making sure that you get recovery in between is perfect. Total body workouts. I'm going to be repeating that because that's the remedy when you're first starting back into the gym. There's going to be other times where you can take it to the next level and use different workout protocols that will help stimulate more growth as a 40 and 50 and 6-year-old man. But when you're just starting back, getting back in the gym, or at the point where you're now ready to build muscle and really attack that muscle, then, you don't want too much volume. You don't want those bro splits, do the total body. Let's go to the poor form. So poor form and technique. I see this all the time. I see this all the time at the gym because I get on the bike or I'm in the treadmill and I'm watching people and they're just freaking throwing. I don't even know what most of the people are doing in there, seriously. And it really, it kind of ekes me because I just want to go there, over to them and just help them, right? I love to help people. I don't want to critique them and sit there and going, oh man, you're doing shit wrong. I want to help them. Hey, maybe, and I do sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, hey man, if you're doing tricep kickbacks, let's say, not one of my favorite, but let's just say you're doing tricep kickbacks, okay? A lot of times they're just, they kind of remember what they saw online or what they read in a book or what they used to do. And they may just take the weight here and they're just kind of like, I know you can't see if you're listening, but your elbows are kind of pointing down, right? And you're just doing, you're doing the kickback. But what you don't realize is your elbow, first of all, your arm has to be close to your body. Your elbow should be pointing to the sky. You should be using lightweight, and you're going to target the triceps way more when your elbow's pointed higher than if your elbow's pointing down. You're generally not even hitting the triceps, right? So a lot of times, you're just focused on getting into the gym and lifting heavy, right? Because you're getting back in the gym, your ego takes a place, and you're not focusing on how much tension is generated when you're moving through the weight. Do you have the proper form? Is your elbow up higher? If you're doing shoulder side lateral raises, are you bent over a bit? Are your shoulders back? Are you not, like a lot of big mistakes people do is when they're raising the dumbbell, their arms are straight and they're raising it straight up, as opposed to raising it a little bit forward with your elbows, at a 45-degree angle. Your body's forward. That's really going to hit the side lats, right? So it's really important that you really get that technique. You really focus on, instead of swinging back and curling, big weights, and you're just swinging, go lighter, do strict, nice and strict. You're in there to build muscle. You're not in there to impress people, right? You're not in the gym to impress. You're in the gym to put in work to get results. And remember, when we're in our 40s, 50s, 60s, our room for error on everything we do, our margin for error is very, very small, right? Very small, because we have so many things going up against each other, against us, testosterone, sarcopenia, metabolism slow down, all these other things, right? We don't recover as fast. So we can't just willy-nilly go in the gym and just start blasting the way we used to when we're 20s and 30s. We got to really be focused and making sure that, if you're not following a program that guides you through, like a follow-along workout that guides you through and coaches you through to make sure that you are doing slow, controlled forms, or controlled technique, where you're connecting, making a connection to the mind muscle, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and having a coach or a trainer, whether it's online or whether it's hiring somebody who knows what they're doing, who knows how to train men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, because that's the other thing. You got to get a trainer who knows how to train men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, not just any generic trainer who has no clue how to train older men. That's what you need, so that you can get the right form, the right technique, and then it makes it easier for you to continue along your journey to building muscle, right? So poor form technique. Remember, when you go into that gym, your only focus is building muscle and getting results. Your focus is not trying to impress all the people in the gym. Those days are gone, right? You gotta check the ego at the door. So remember, try to get either a trainer or coach who can guide you through and understands where you're at in your fitness and your age, and then also, or an online program. Like I've got programs where I specifically do follow-along workouts so that you're training right with me all the rounds, and I'm coaching you through so that you know how to do it with the right form. Okay. Number 7 is nutrition. That's a big one, man. You're not eating the right foods that are going to support your hormones. Because remember, it's not just about protein and muscle building and getting protein, because that's what it was when we were in our 20s and our 30s. I talked about this in the nutrition podcast. We've got to think a lot differently. We got to think about our hormones. We got to think about boosting testosterone while keeping cortisol levels down, estrogen levels down, insulin levels at bay, inflammation down, and adding now is building muscle. So we have to be eating the right macronutrients that are going to support all of that. So one of the big problems that I had when I was 39, I was still eating like I was 29, right? I was eating a ton of pasta, I was eating, just trying to get as many calories in because I wanted to be big and muscular, and doing the dirty bulk or whatever it was. I didn't even know I was doing it. I didn't even realize I was bulking. I didn't want to bulk to 210 pounds of puffy muscle, but I did. And but I just was eating like McDonald's, ramen noodles. I was a big ramen noodle guy, man. Like I was just like ramen noodles, quick, easy, go to the store, corner store, get it. And of course I was my girl left me. So, you're in a depression. You're like, oh, who cares? Just get the ramen noodles, ramen it up. I'll burn, you know what? I'll burn the ramen noodles off at the gym. You can't train a bad diet no matter what. So, not eating enough carbs for muscle growth. That's a big thing. Guys are getting, but that's the complex carbs, right? Not staying consistent with your nutrition. Yeah, sure, you're good in the first couple of weeks, but then, Carl had a birthday and Brenda has this thing at work and this person, we're going away on vacation, and next thing you know, nutrition's out the door. And guess what? Nutrition's going to be, I'm going to say 80% of your muscle building results if you want to build muscle and stay lean, right? And even if it's not 80, it's at least 70. Doesn't matter. It's more than what in the gym is going to do for you. Yes, of course you have to get in the gym. You got to break down the muscle. You got to progressively overload. You got to do all that stuff. But nutrition is going to be what's going to help you recover. It's going to feed the muscle. So you got to make sure that, yes, you have to eat high quality protein with every meal, right? And listen, you've got to eat. I don't want to say clean. You have to eat. Okay, you have to eat to support your hormones, right? To support your testosterone, to support, decreasing all that other, your killer hormones. So, you got to eat high quality foods. You got to eat nutrient dense foods. You got to eat the right foods, high quality proteins, right? Protein's not going to be the most important macronutrients. The most important macronutrients are complex carbs, right? With every meal, protein with every meal, complex carb with every meal, getting healthy fats that are going to support your hormone production, support testosterone production, right? Because the precursor to testosterone production is cholesterol. You get cholesterol from healthy fats. So you need cholesterol, you need healthy fats. You should be eating 3 meals a day. I always say 3 meals a day, but if you're going to build muscle, add in that fourth, add in that protein shake, that nutrient-dense protein smoothie, protein, steel cut oats, Lean Pro 30 protein powder. Lots of, you can put fruit, bananas, fruit, you can put almond butter, boom, for your fats. You can put matcha, boom. You can put a creatine, boom. You can put, kale, boom, like all of that. And there's your snack along with the 3 meals that you eat, because you need the calories, but you need the carbs, right? And your biggest meal is going to be after you train. 3 to 1 carbs to protein. 3 carbs to 1 protein. You're always going to have more carbs than proteins on your plates, but now you're going to jack it up because your muscles, you just finished working out, your muscles are depleted of glycogen, specifically depending on the type of workout you're doing. So your muscles are like, I need glycogen, I need glucose, I need carbs. So this is the perfect time for you to increase your carb intake right after. And then also using good supplements like creatine, right? Creatine's a great supplement. There's other supplements out there, making sure you got a protein powder so you can make the smoothie, right? And the protein, good whey protein, New Zealand whey, not built with sugar. Magnesium, a good magnesium, which helps with muscle growth. So nutrition's going to be really key, but you got to stay consistent. You got to eat the right foods that support your hormones. Okay, next up, using catabolic cardio. I call it catabolic cardio, or just a traditional cardio, because listen, although you want to build muscle, you also want to burn fat, right? You want to stay, you don't want to be puffy like I was. You don't want to be 215 pounds of puffy muscle, because we don't know, it's going to be really hard for us to lean out, right? So we need to do steady. So the old steady state cardio, which again, I see all the time at the gym, guys doing the elliptical, guys doing the treadmill, walking like medium, level on the treadmill. And, they look the same. Like they've been doing it for 6 months. They look exactly the same, because a study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine showed that men who perform long steady state cardios have lower testosterone levels. And long steady state cardio, like I said, on the elliptical or on the treadmill, you're just doing like medium, medium level, going for 45 to 60 minutes. You're on the stair climber. That increases your cortisol levels, because remember, cortisol will increase because cortisol is a stress hormone. And the longer you're in the gym working out, the more stress you're putting on your body, and the higher your cortisol levels. Cortisol, what does it do? Well, it slows down your metabolism, and you hold fat. So a lot of these guys who I see on the elliptical, on the treadmill, on the stair climbers, they all have that fat. They may have lost some weight, but they still have fat around the belly. And it also creates muscle loss, right? Because remember, don't get it twisted when you see these bodybuilders out there who are telling you in the magazines that, oh yeah, this is my bro split, that my bodybuilding workout that I do, this is the weight that I do, these are my reps and sets, and then after I'll do this long cardio, slow walk, whatever. Remember, they're using performance enhancing drugs. They're on steroids. So, and you know what I mean? And so, and not just that, not just saying that's the only reason. There's science behind being a bodybuilder, man. You have to be like obsessed. Like that is your life, to look the way they do consistently, because they're always, setting themselves up for competitions. And like it's a 365-day thing, man. My wife used to be a bodybuilder, so she knows. She tells me all the things. She tells me all the things that she used to do, right? It's way different. So when you read that stuff in the magazine, or you see guys on YouTube or online telling you about that, you got to think, well, who am I listening it from? Is this Jay Cutler telling me this? Well, if it's Jay Cutler telling me this, Jay Cutler is a bodybuilder who's on steroids, works hard as hell, and is young. Well, yeah, actually, he's probably in his 40s now, but it's not the same, man. It's not the same. So what do you do instead? Well, you do short metabolic workouts that are joint friendly, high intensity metabolic works, or sprints. You do sprints. That's what I just shot a video about, me doing sprints, right? Depending on how your knees are and how your joints are, you do like 10 sets of 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off. So it's a 10-minute workout, 10-minute metabolic cardio workout, where you're going to not only do sprints help with burning fat, burning calories during and after you're done, but it also helps preserve muscle, because you see the difference between sprinters and long distance runners. You see their body shape, totally different. So, you'll do 30 seconds running as fast as you can, sprinting on treadmill, and then you hop off. So you put your legs to the side, your feet to the side, let the treadmill run, rest for 30 seconds, recover, and then you get back on. You do that 10 times. That's 10 minutes. Done. And you're going to be burning, you're going to continue to sweat, and your metabolism is going to continue to burn. Calories are going to continue to burn, because your body's now in epoch, and what it's doing, afterburn effect, and it's taking a lot longer for your body to get back to homeostasis where you were before. So those are perfect ways to end off your muscle building workout, right? And you don't have to do those, but shorter workouts are going to be key to your overall success when it comes to cardio. Again, burning fat while keeping that muscle, your hard-earned muscle that you're building. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is failing to warm up before and stretch after. So, hey, I'm the king. I was the king of never warming up. Oh, I did warm up. I would step on the treadmill for 5 minutes and walk on the treadmill, but that's it. Cooling down, non-existent. For pretty much. And you know what? Even in my volleyball days when I was a professional athlete, I never stretched. Ever stretched. I warmed up for sure, but I never stretched. In my beach volleyball career, never stretched. But if you're not warming up before, or you're not cooling down or stretching after, you're setting yourself up for injury. Because like I said before, as we get older, right? As we get older, we don't recover the way we used to, right? And our joints and our bones aren't as strong as they used to be. Specifically if you're starting out now. So you have to make sure that you're warming up before. And when I say warm up, a good dynamic warm up, that's what I do. I do like 5-minute dynamic warm ups. I'm not talking about going in and warming up for 20 minutes. Like I see a lot of guys at the gym who go in there and they'll do their bands and they'll do all these, mobility stuff. And yes, that's really good for sure. Activation, all of that stuff is good. But when it's 20 to 30 minutes long and you're cutting into the whole point of you being there, which is building muscle, it's counterintuitive, right? You're not going in there to warm up. You're going in there to quickly warm up. Good, dynamic warm up where you're just kind of getting the blood flowing in the joints. Your ankles, your knees, your shoulders, your back, your hips. You know what I mean? You're opening up the chest, your neck. And again, it depends on what you're working out too. Like if you're doing a lower body, actually, I like to do total body workouts. So that's why I'm talking about a full body dynamic warm up where you're just warming up wrists and elbows, all the joints that you're going to be using that are going to be crucial for helping you to perform your technique and ensuring that you don't get injured, right? Because you want to build muscle. Listen, if you're injured, you can't build muscle. Right, you can't build muscle if you're injured because you can't work out. You can't put the amount of progressive overload or tension or the intensity that you're going to need to actually build muscle. You can't do it when you're injured, right? So even if it's even if you want to jump rope or I like dynamic warm-ups because again, it gets your body ready, it gets your muscles ready. And here's another thing that I like to do too. Now, if let's say that I'm doing a full body circuit, and I've done this before many times, what I'll do is I will do, let's say it's 6 exercises. I will go through So I will do a quick little warm up, dynamic warm up, may do some jumping jacks. So jumping jacks first, maybe a 2-minute like calisthenics. Then I will do my total body dynamic warm up where my joints, like a 7-point joint. Like, so Ryan Shanahan talks about that 7-point joints where we're hitting all the joints, warming them up. And then before I do the circuit, okay, before I do the circuit, I actually go through all the exercise movements without weight, so that so the first time my body's going through those movements isn't with load. It's actually my body's now so here, let me give you an example. If I'm doing, so let's say I'm starting off with squats. Well, squats, yeah, I'm starting off with dumbbell squats. Well, I'm just going to do 10 reps of squats, just regular squats up and down, get the body used to that movement. Then let's say the next exercise are bent over dumbbell rows. Well, guess what? I'm going to bend over, perfect form, and row without the weight so that my body and my muscles know that movement already. They're used to that movement. Then I'm going to go and do chest. Well, I'm going to lie on the floor or on the bench, and I'm just going to, without weight, just do that movement. So now, and then I'm going to repeat that same thing for all of the exercises. So there'll be 6 exercises. So now my body, my mind and muscle, my body has already done those movements. So now when I'm going in for the first round, my body's not like, it's kind of, because sometimes you're like, the first round of doing chest, it's like, the shoulders hurt, the elbows are kind of hurting. Well, the first round, because remember, I'm going to be in the gym very short. I'm going to do short 30-minute workouts, metabolic workouts, circuit workouts, using resistance, metabolic resistance training. So I want to make sure that those 3 rounds that I'm doing are solid work, right? So I mean, I'm not going to go super heavy on that first round, but it's not my body's not like, this is like not the first time I do. That's why you see guys like I'm going to relate this to fighting, and I'm going to relate this to my athletic days. That's why in fighting in the back, boxing or whatever, you're hitting pads, you're warming up. You don't want the first punch that you throw to be in the octagon or in the ring. You want to have already, your muscles to have already been used to throwing that punch, that like, minutes before you get in, or 5 or 10 minutes before, or throwing the kick, you know what I mean? Or that takedown or takedown defense. You don't want that first time to be when you're cold in the octagon or ring. Or like for beach volleyball, for me, that's why, let's go with beach volleyball. I was one of the things I was known for was my defense, because, I'm 5'11", and, in my later years in beach volleyball, guys were getting 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". So, my partners were pretty big too. So they would do all the blocking, and I would be a defensive player. And a couple of years I got defensive player of the year, or 1 year I got defensive player of the year. And so what I would always do is I would run back and forth, side to side, because when you're playing beach volleyball and you're trying to dig something, or someone, hits the ball slightly over the block, you're going to have to run laterally, dive into the sand to try to dig it up. Well, I would do that. I would run to one side and dive, so it'd already be dirty. Run to the other side, dive. So run back and forth. I would do a star. So it wasn't the first time I would do those movements, so that when the game started, I've already done those movements, man. I'm already there. My muscles, my fast twitch muscles are already fired up. I'm already ready to make that move and just dive and get it. Or before a fight, I've already hit pads. I've already done a couple of the, combinations that I'm going to throw in the fight. I've already thrown knees. I've already thrown kicks. So it's not new. I've already done fake blocks. So same thing in the gym. Muscles are used to doing those exercises. So you're already done those exercises. So warming up, not only with just a dynamic warm up, but also going through the exercises without any weight, right? Without any warm up sets with weight. Just go through and let your body get used to the movement, get your mind get used to the movement, connect that mind muscle. And of course, cooling down after is going to be important to remove all that lactic acid in your body and regulate your heart rate, right? So stretching, of course, you don't want to suffer from DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness, which you will get when you first start working out. You'll probably have it for the first 2 weeks, but it's not something that happens all the time. Always stretch afterwards. Being flexible, elongating the muscles will help you with growth as well. So a good stretch after, or some yoga was really good. A nice 15-minute yoga flow. Beautiful. All right. So dynamic warm up before, stretching after is key for muscle growth. Number 10, consistency, guys. you got to stay consistent. Lucky for me, doing 6 workouts a week for years, it was easily consistent for me. But I had that consistency way back because as a professional athlete and high level athlete, you just know about consistency. It's not new, but consistency is tough. You're excited. You get a new program. You're super excited. You're getting the gym. You're dedicated for 2 weeks. You're like super dedicated. You never miss a workout. You're on your nutrition, and then week 3 comes, and you know what? I got a party to go to, so I'm just gonna miss the gym today, or I got to work late at night. I'm late at work. I'm just going to miss today. But then the next week, something else comes up, life gets in the way. Your daughter has a recital you have to go to. Your boss wants you to work late. Your friends have a birthday party you need to go to. Next thing you know, you've missed a whole week of workouts. And then I'm going to try to how hard it is to get back in the gym, even after 2 weeks of missing the gym, or because listen, it doesn't all happen at once. Week number 4, instead of going 4 days, you go 3. Week number 5, you go 2. Week number 6, you may back up to 3. Week number 7, only 1. Week number 8, 1. Week number 9, 1. Week number 10, none. And then it's super hard to get back in. It's super hard to motivate you to get back into the gym because you're like, I got to start all over again. Forget that. And then you just get back into your poor nutrition, lack of exercise, so you have to make sure that you're consistent, right? Inconsistency with your training and nutrition will be responsible for lack of gains 90% of the time, 90% of the time, 100% of the time, right? Like if you're not consistent, you're not going to make gains in your if you're not consistent with your workouts and your nutrition, it's both. It's nutrition too, because maybe you're that guy who can get to the gym all the time and you love working out, which happens a lot in my Over 40 Alpha program. These guys do the workouts, but they're kind of doing the nutrition, and then they do their accountability like, oh, this week I only lost 1 pound or 2 pounds, or I only lost this muscle, or I've been stuck here. Well, how's the nutrition? Well, I've been kind of following nutrition. Then next week, funk. I started adding carbs. I followed nutrition. Boom, 5 pounds came off. Or boom, I lost a percentage of body fat. Or boom, you can see in my body, I'm starting to gain muscle. And then they just stay consistent, make it a lifestyle, right? So how do you do this, right? If you want to achieve great gains, you have to make building muscle a priority. You have to make it a priority, because if you don't make this a priority, there's always gonna be something else. There's always gonna be birthdays. There's always gonna be recitals. There's always gonna be your boss making you go to work. There's always gonna be your wife wanting you to go take her to the ballet. There's always gonna be your friends. Like there's always gonna be something. You're never gonna have 4 months of nothing that all you have to do is focus on working out, unless you go to a different country, you have money, and you go to a different country and it's just you and your trainer. But that doesn't happen. Like when I go to Thailand, perfect, because I never miss a day of training. And I train 2 to 3 times a day, 2 times for sure, and then some strength and conditioning or some type of workout, day in, day out, because my responsibilities there are very small. Online stuff, that's it. But my wife and I, that's all we do is train. It's easy to be consistent because there's not life's terms aren't as prevalent in a different country like Thailand when I go to train. Life on life's terms when you come home is there. You got family, you got friends, you've got work, you've got community, you've got whatever, church, whatever it is. But you have to make this a priority. So everything has to work around your goal of muscle building or your goal of weight loss, whatever it is. So you got to follow a plan. This is how you stay consistent. You have to have that plan, but the plan has to have support. It has to have guidance, and it has to have accountability, right? So if it's an online plan, make sure that whatever muscle building plan, you have support. There's someone that you can reach out to all the time. There's a Facebook group that you can go to get support. You have to have guidance. There's follow along workouts that make it easy and short, and you can do the workouts at home or you can do them at gym. But it's there's some guidance there, and then accountabilities, get in that Facebook group. Maybe there's an accountability weekly. Maybe you get to talk to a coach or a trainer. They check in. Like once that is there, then you're going to get that consistent and that behavior and that habit. And then it's just then you're not going to need the accountability every month or every week or whatever it is, because you can do it pretty much all on your own because it's become a lifestyle. It's ingrained, so consistency is key. And that's, one of the biggest mistakes. The next one is that mind-muscle connection, and I kind of talked about that before, but I'll just floss over this quickly. Again, that's something that I've always had, but it's really important because when you're trying to develop that mind-muscle connection, you want to be able to focus on the muscle that's doing the work, right? And it's not something that happens right away. It's something you have to actually train. You have to start getting used to thinking about, okay, if I'm building biceps, I'm doing bicep curls, depending on what bicep curl exercise I'm doing or what variation, I have to make sure that I'm thinking about the bicep doing doing the work, right? So shoulders are back, you're nice and tall, you're supinating at the end, you're squeezing, you're thinking about the bicep. You're not thinking about anything else. A lot of my workouts are time-based. They're not rep-based. And I like that because rep-based, you're thinking about the count, you're counting. So it just makes it a little bit harder. Obviously, you can 100% do mind-muscle connection with rep-based. But if you haven't done this before and you're just focusing on 1, 2, 3, instead of, the biceps doing the work, my shoulders are back good, bicep, curl, hold, squeeze the bicep, yeah. Okay, like when you're doing it for time, you don't have to think about the reps. So a lot of my workouts, specifically my muscle building workouts, are timed intervals. You're doing each exercise for a timed interval. So all you have to do is focus on the reps, focus on the form, focus on the technique, and focus on mind-muscle connection. And then when the bell rings, you put the weights down, you rest, you start thinking about the next exercise. The bell rings again, you pick up the weights, you start doing the next exercise, and you recalibrate your mind to the muscle that's working. But that's huge, man, because that's a big mistake guys don't make. That's a big mistake guys make. They're just going through the motion. Again, they're trying to lift too heavy, right? So you got to make sure that the muscle that you're actually working is doing the job. So once again, let's use the kickbacks. If I was doing kickbacks with my elbows pointing down and it's a very short range of motion and I can't feel my triceps because I have poor technique. So let's say I have that mind-muscle connection and I'm doing this. I'm like, well, how come my triceps aren't working? Oh, my technique, boom, up here. Oh, you see that? Ooh, you can't see it if you're listening, but I'm actually doing kickbacks with my elbows pointing literally up to the sky as high as it can go. And then without any weight, I'm straightening my arms. So and without any weight, and I can feel my tricep, like I can feel it doing the work, right? But I had that mind-muscle connection. I can feel it, and now I can really connect my mind to it because of that feeling, the tricep working. This is a really important step that a lot of guys don't think that really matters, but it really does when you can start doing that. And because what happens is when you start connecting your mind to your muscle during your workout, you're really focused on the workout. You're not focused on your phone or people around you. You're super, super dialed in to getting the work done for whatever time it is and really making sure the muscles that you're working are doing the work. It's so important, man. That's a big mistake guys make. So really get that mind-muscle connection, really start to focus. And it's not going to happen the first time. You've got to build up that connection. You have to build up that muscle, right? That mind muscle. You have to build the mind muscle, the brain muscle to start, automatically turning on when you're lifting weights. So it's going to take some time. It's going to feel weird at first, but believe me, once you keep doing it, it's going to work. Okay, so let's go to now mistake number 12. All right, so mistake number 12 for men over 40 is CrossFit. Using CrossFit or thinking that CrossFit is going to be what is going to help you build your muscle. And listen, once again, I have no ill will for CrossFit. For me, CrossFit is a sport, right? And listen, I watch CrossFit. I love watching CrossFit. It's when the CrossFit games come out, I'm totally enthralled by it. My wife and I are glued to the TV or to YouTube to watch it because they're athletes, and I love the fact that these guys are high level athletes. And I can, like I say, I can see the attraction of why men over 40, 50, 60. Now, when I say CrossFit, I'm talking about, you haven't worked out in a while. You're now going, okay, let me just go to work out. Let me see what I can do. I don't really know what to do in the gym, but there's CrossFit. My younger friends are using CrossFit or going to CrossFit gyms. A couple of my friends are doing CrossFit. Maybe my wife's doing CrossFit. So you think, okay, you know what? Let me just go do CrossFit. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to think. I just go. And again, I understand the attraction around the sport because you see all these jacked people on Instagram and on YouTube and what have you. And the whole premise and the winner of the CrossFit Games is the fittest person on earth. So why wouldn't you think that you could just go, okay, well, might as well go to CrossFit. They have muscle, they build muscle, they burn fat, they're super fit. But here's the thing. First of all, and again, I don't judge, CrossFit athletes generally are taking performance enhancing drugs because the fact that they have to train at such a high level, such volume, 2-3 times a day, like this is all they do, right? Like when you're looking at a CrossFit athlete, they're athletes, high level athletes. So, for them, performance enhancing drugs are going to help them, not only help with their body, of course, but help them recover so they can continue to train without getting injured and training for months over end. But as a man over 40, all of those CrossFit exercises, the box jumps, all the technical lifts, the kipping, the handstands, all that stuff is really, really hard on our joints, hard on our muscles. It's really, really hard for us to recover. Like, listen, again, let me go back to my story. 10 years ago when CrossFit just started, I guess it just really started to become, I don't even want to call it popular because 10 years ago, CrossFit wasn't as popular as it was today, but CrossFit was definitely something that was, oh, this is cool. Look at this. 10 years ago, I just learned that, you're combining Olympic stuff and gymnastics and mobility and athleticism and, building muscle, all those things, which were attractive to me, right? I'm like, okay, this is great. I go to this gym. I don't have to worry about anything. I just follow the WOD. Well, what happened after the very first time I went to this gym? And remember, I was a high-level athletic person, but I was 40 years old. I got injured. My back got right off the very first after the first one I was done, right? Because we were doing these swings and box jumps, and there was very little teaching back then at the CrossFit box, but that was it. I did it once and that was it, man. And then my wife, who again is in insane shape, she'll be turning 49, the week after this podcast airs. I think it was 3 years ago, she was at the point where she's like, you know what? And remember, she trains Muay Thai. She goes to spinning. She works out. Like, this is 5-6 days a week. She's a different beast, beautiful beast that is. And so she's like, so she goes to this CrossFit gym, and the CrossFit gym was great. It was around the corner. It was really good because she didn't want to have to think about putting together programs or putting together workouts. Just go to the CrossFit gym, do the WOD, learn some beautiful technical lifts. We had just finished watching the CrossFit Games that year, so we were both like, jacked to well, I wasn't jacked to CrossFit because I already know what the ramifications of that, but she was excited about CrossFit. So she did all the technical teaching, the technical lift, so she could learn how to snatch, learn how to do the overhead press, overhead, squats and that sort of thing so that she wouldn't get injured. But she's 40 years old. She's 45 at the time. It doesn't matter, man. Like, if you're not taking in performance enhancing drugs to help with recovery and decreased chances of injuries at our age, it doesn't matter. Like, unless you are an actual CrossFit athlete, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about you're just wanted to get back in. She got injured her shoulder, injured her back. I'm not even sure if, that those injuries have some of the injuries that kind of creep up on her now are not from that time. But Man, it's just, it's too tough, guys. It's too hard in our body. Listen, a guy in our 40s, 50s, 60s, our primary goal is to lose belly, but lose fat, gain muscle, and live healthy, and do it safely, so that we can continually do this forever. Right? We can do this forever. We can work out that will help exercise. We can exercise. It'll help our bodies. It'll help our minds. That will, help us keep, gain muscle and keep that muscle. Because remember, sarcopenia is there. Keep our body fat down. Keep our testosterone levels high. So again, there's going to be people listening to this go, well, I know 40-year-old CrossFits and 50-year-old CrossFit. Yeah, but they're at the CrossFit athletes that are 40, 50 that are like the I don't know what they're called, the masters level or whatever. But they've been doing this for a while, and they're probably using something to help them sustainably train at that level. Listen, I'm a former professional athlete. I know what it takes to train as an athlete. Okay, it's not just going once a day, once 4 times a week and going to your WOD. No. You got to do two, three times a day, and you're practicing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Too hard on our joints. So what do you do instead? Well, metabolic workouts. You can do metabolic style, CrossFit style workouts, but using exercise that are joint friendly. That again, setting up metabolically where you move from one exercise to another in a circuit training way. But the exercises aren't box jumps and technical snatches and those type of things. But they're still exercises that you can use that'll help you gain, burn, build muscle and burn fat using metabolic resistance training. Right. So that's the solution. So you can still do WODs styles, but just changing up the exercises, right? And changing up the volume. So number 12, do not do CrossFit if you're not a CrossFit athlete or you're not planning on competing in the CrossFit Games. All right, so let's go number 13. What is the last mistake that men over 40 make when trying to build muscle? I'll tell you what it is. Not following a specific program designed for men over 40, 50, 60. And you would think, well, that's pretty much, that totally makes sense. Why would I not be following a program for my age? Why am I following a program that I see in a magazine that Jay Cutler or Ronnie Coleman or, I'm going old school guys, but whomever the bodybuilder, the big Olympian bodybuilders right now, why would I follow their program? Why would I follow a program of a UFC fighter that I see in a magazine? Or why would I follow a program that are for young 20-year-olds like that? You're, a 20-year-old guy. Why would I follow a program that my trainer at the gym gave me, but that trainer's 22 years old and has no clue about the struggles that men over 40 have? So it's really important that you think about, okay, I got to find a program that's designed for me, designed to help me boost my testosterone levels, designed to help me safely build muscle, designed to help me not injure myself, designed to help me burn belly fat, burn fat, right? Designed to help it be a sustainable program that I'm always growing, always getting stronger, always getting better, always getting leaner, but with my age in mind. Right. So I can do this program in my 40s. I can do this program in my 50s. I can do this program in my 60s. Right. And not looking to the magazines or to some YouTube video or some YouTube, a trainer or Instagram trainer. There's so many little workouts on Instagram. People like go to this, I'm going to try this workout on Instagram. And they're just like going from trainer to trainer. It's Instagram workout to Instagram workout, but because it looks kind of cool and they try it, but there's no plan. There's no start finish. There's no plan that's going to help you progress through, your progress through your results, right? And try to get you stronger, get you better and planned out so that it makes sense. So what do you do instead? Well, listen, guys, I've got a new program called Metabolic Muscle Program designed for men over 40, 50, 60 that you can do in the comfort of your own home, just with dumbbells. That's all you need. 3 total body workouts, right? 3 total body workouts that will like Brad Schoenfield said, I hope I'm probably butchering his name, but 3 workouts per week, total body workouts, as he said, are much better for helping men over 40 increase muscle than doing split routines or bodybuilding style workouts, right? This program that I have is going to ensure that you don't overtrain because you're only working out 3 to 4, actually 4 times, one bonus workout, but you're able to have those recovery days. Because remember what I told you guys with recovery, growth happens on rest days. So you do need those rest days so that your muscles can repair, can grow, and get stronger for your next workout. That's what's implemented. We have in this program, I also am including a sleep guide, which will help you learn the strategies that you need to get you to help you sleep, help you find ways to get 7 to 9 hours. Because remember, we need the sleep. We need the non-REM sleep, which is going to help us build muscles, right? And our tissues and rejuvenate them during this phase of sleep. Once again, the workout is progressive, so you're using dumbbells, but I don't make it so that you put too much volume and you increase your weight as you go along. That's what you're comfortable with. I'll still push you a little bit to improve and to progressively overload the muscles so that you continue to grow, but not too much where you're going to get injured, right? And these workouts are follow along workouts. So the workouts, like I say, are follow along. So I make sure that you make sure that you don't perform the workouts with poor form or technique, because I'm going to be there doing it with you. I'm working out with you. They're 3-round workouts. I'm going to be there the whole time. I'm going to be coaching with you and also working out with you so you can see and you'll learn throughout the 28 days, the 28-day program, how to do the proper squat, how to curl properly, how to do lateral raises properly, how to do these muscle building exercises so you're not injuring yourself again. Nutrition. This program comes with a nutrition program. The program comes with a nutrition program that will guide you through the proper carbs, fats, proteins, the ratio that you'll need to build muscle, plus the foods that you're going to eat to help you boost your testosterone levels and help you boost your metabolism too. So you're not only feeding your muscles the foods it needs to grow, but you're also boosting your testosterone. Like I said, we need to boost our testosterone levels while keeping all those other hormones at bay, like cortisol, estrogen, all those down, inflammation down, and also boosting your metabolism. So you're not only building muscle, but burning fat. And again, you're not going to be doing catabolic cardio. You're going to be doing metabolic resistance training. So you're going to be able to burn fat while building muscle. Okay. You're going to have warm-ups. You're going to have stretches. So you're going to do a warm-up before each workout, a stretch afterwards. And it's going to be easy for you to be consistent because I'm going to keep you accountable. So not only are you going to get emails every single day that will guide you to what workout to do, give you some really great content-rich information, but also you're going to join the Facebook group, which is a support group. So we're going to be there. I'm going to be doing a weekly coaching, but also you're going to see other brothers and other people who are doing the same workout program as you and other programs so that you can bounce ideas off of them, ask questions, and they're there for support. We talk about mind-muscle connection. You'll know that during each workout, I'm always saying, mind-muscle, think about the mind-muscle. Again, instead of doing CrossFit, jumping, handstand push-ups, you're still going to be building muscle with the exercises, but they're going to be joint friendly. They're going to be focused on us. So the movements are going to be focused on us, the best muscle building exercises for men over 40 that you can use dumbbells with in the comfort of your own home. And last but not least, this is a program designed for men in their 40s, 50s, 60s. So if you want that program, because you guys are on here and it's not going to launch till next week, but because you're listening to this right now, I'm going to hook you up with it this week, and it's going to be cheaper than cheap. 28-day program. Go to over40shred.com/metabolic muscle. That will be the program. It has everything you need, man. It's a 28-day full program. You don't need anything else. It's got ab and core, so you'll be doing ab and core. You got nutrition. I'm going to give you some recovery stuff for sleep. You have the workout, and you have all the videos. And guess what? You can download those videos too, man. I'm gonna let you download those videos. Like, it's gonna be insane, man. It's awesome. It's a no-brainer. If you want to build muscle while burning fat in the comfort of your own home using dumbbells, no brainer. Like, you're crazy not to use this program. Again, over40shred.com/metabolic-muscle, metabolic-muscle. And you'll get that program. I think it'll be under $10 for you guys. Also, thank you so much, man, for being on this podcast. You guys are unbelievable. 13 mistakes men over 40 make while building muscle. And I gave you the solutions for each one of those, right? I gave you the solutions for each one. So start implementing those, even if you use my program or not, think about all the things that we just went through, and make sure that when you've got a new program that you're going to try, that, you think about all the things I talked about, because, this is something that's always happening. It's very common, and why guys in their 40s and 50s and 60s have a hard time understanding why they can't build muscle and look lean and shredded like they did in their 20s. Meanwhile, other guys can do that in their 40s, 50s, 60s. Well, those other guys are using programs that are geared towards their age, and they're not making these mistakes. So that's the key. So thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Also, before we end, remember, I'm giving away creatine, guys. I'm giving away 3 of these creatine monohydrates funk supplements, my supplement company. I'm giving away 3 of them. So all you need to do is go to over40shred.com/contest. There's 2 steps. The first step, put your email address in. The second step I want you to do is leave, there'll be a link. After you put your email address in, you'll go to another page with a link. Click that link and leave an awesome 5-star review about this specific episode. I would love you to do that. And then at the end of February, we're going to choose 3 winners. Last month, we chose 3 winners for Lean Protein. This month, 3 winners for creatine, so that you can get your muscle on. And finally, before you go, remember, two last things. Another thing is, if you listen to this podcast, you're like, you know what, Funk, I want to be part of the brotherhood. I want to be part of the Over 40 Alpha Brotherhood. I want a 12-month program that guides me through new workouts. I want new workouts every month. I want a nutrition plan that's going to guide me, that makes it a lifestyle. I want to use an app, the Over 40 Shred app, which has everything on here. Look at this app, man. Everything is on this. Everything, every month, every phase, all the information you need. We got bonuses, and every phase you have the workouts here, so they're all follow along workouts. We have recovery stuff, we have flexibility stuff, we have I talked about nutrition, we have mindset training, so you're always focusing on your mindset, and then of course the support, the Facebook group where you have hundreds of other men who are going through the same 12-month program you are. And finally, weekly coaching, man. This is not just a business for me. This is a lifestyle. I'm there to coach you every single week. We have Q&As. We have live coaching. It's insane, man. This brotherhood is life-changing. Guys are losing 100 pounds. If you listen to Warwick, his last couple podcasts ago, it's incredible. So you can start free today. All you need to go to over40alpha.com, www.over40alpha.com, and just join for free, 30 days. Listen, you start on Monday, and guess what happens? You got 20 days to try this. If you're not losing weight in 20 days, and just send us an email, and before the 30 days are over, don't wait till day 29, but before 30 days is over, just cancel. You don't get, listen, we're on top of it. Okay. We're not going to be one of those companies that kind of like, oh, you didn't cancel. We're on top of it, but don't leave until the 29th. But most people, they just continue to go because they're like, man, I'm losing weight. I'm feeling good. I'm learning stuff. I got a brotherhood. So go to over40alpha.com, hit that up. And finally, let's get checked. You know this, guy. So I think earlier on in this podcast, I said that it was 40% off. It's 20% off. This is a home testosterone kit. All you do is you order it online. They're going to send you everything you need. You put some blood in there. So you order online, you get it 2 days after you order it, or 2 to 5 days. I think I got mine. I'm in Canada. I got mine in like 3 days. Then I put my blood in here, and I package it up with the packaging that they gave. I did this morning. So package up with the package they gave me, and I'm going to send this one off. This is my testosterone kit. And because you need to know where your testosterone levels are at, right? And we don't all have time to go to the hospital or to go to our doctors or have the money to do that. But this is super, super, super inexpensive. And if you use Funk, so you're going to go to over40shred.com/test kit, TESTKIT. You're going to use the code FUNK20, and you're going to get 20% off, and you're going to do the testosterone kit. There's different ones, but we just want to get your testosterone in. If you want to get other stuff, by all means, you can go ahead, and that code works. But go get your testosterone checked, know where you're at, and then we can set up a plan for you, right? Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in again. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Again, leave an awesome review, please. And guys, get it done. See you in the next episode.